This is the plaintiff, Megan Curran. She says she gave the defendant a deposit on an apartment she filled out an application for. And before she was approved, she told him she was no longer interested in the place. The defendant has stolen other people's money. She's not about to allow him to steal hers and is suing for the $1,795 she's owed. This is the defendant, George. He says he runs a management company with properties all over the world, and applications can take up to 60 days to be approved or rejected. And this includes a 50-credit background check. The plaintiff can't just change her mind on a whim and expect to get a refund on her deposit. Bottom line, her deposit becomes forfeited and her money stays with him. He's accused of holding on tight to a prospective tenant's box.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Leon's now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Curran, you are suing RDG Real Estate Development Group, represented here by Mr. George, for the return of your deposit. Tell me what happened.
I responded to an ad for a rental.
And this was in the same building where you already lived, correct?
Same complex.
Same complex?
Yes.
Okay. And it required board approval?
Correct.
Because it's a what? Condo?
An association, condo association.
All right. And
So-
why were you leaving the place you were at?
Because the rent was being raised $400.
Okay.
So and again, I responded to this ad. It was a gentleman, one gentleman named Carlos. Never heard anything about George or reserve condos. So I filled out an application for the credit application. I filled out the application for reserve of the association.
Yeah, that's when you heard about it, was before you gave the money, though, right? Yes, you filled out the form that has their name on. Okay, so it's not like a big surprise. Who's this guy in court? You know.
Many people.
Are you a realtor?
I am.
Okay.
13 years.
Okay, so you give the deposit, and deposits are typically non-refundable, right?
No.
Yeah, they typically are, unless something in there says otherwise.
No.
In this document, does something say otherwise?
Yes.
Yes, and tell me what it is.
It says if the applicant defaults on renting the property after approval.
Keith, stop. After approval. Okay,
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, I canceled before I was approved.
Okay, so you signed the documents August what?
19th.
And you cancel when?
August 30th.
Okay. How do you let them know that you're canceling?
I tried calling, no answer, so I sent an email.
Okay, what time is
Which
the email?
I have. It was 10, my email was at 9, my email was sent at 9:59 a.m.
Okay.
on August 30th.
On August 30th. And when do you hear back? Up until that point, had anyone said you've been
Never
approved?
heard anything about being approved.
When you send the email, you send it to them?
Correct.
Okay. Not Carlos or
No,
whoever.
I talked to Carlos, and this was the email he gave me to respond.
To send to them. So the 9:59 is to them. And then what happens?
So then I get a response at 12:10, and it says, if you cancel your application, or you've been approved, and
that's the first notice you have that you've been approved.
Correct.
Now, okay. Let me hear from you. What's your name?
Good morning, George.
Mr. George here. Okay. Go ahead.
The applicant, as she said, applied on the 18th through one of our rental agents. The applications at this condominium are pretty extensive because it's an association.
Sure.
She was approved on the 29th. We have an internal form that we use.
Let me see that form.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, stay where you are. Go, dude, where'd you
No,
go?
I had to pop out.
I'm also going to give you the original application, Your Honor, and all the credit background checks we did, okay?
Yeah. All right, so go ahead.
So you can see the original application is the last one. You can see it's signed that our rental agent filled out. Then we went through and we did a credit check on her. You can see that was filed on the 22nd of August.
Where do I see that?
You'll see on the first
Yeah, okay,
page,
I
Your
see
Honor,
it.
on the 22nd.
Okay.
So then on the 29th, we have 3 layers of approval in our office because, you know, we want to make sure the individual applicant is not going to have a problem paying their rent. It went through all 3 layers.
Who are the 3 layers?
They're on the bottom on the signatures there.
Who else has to approve besides you,
Once it
the
goes,
people who work for you and you?
Okay, it goes to the association.
Right. Where are the signatures from the
The
association?
association then gets a hold of us and says there are
Where
no,
are the signatures from the association was my question.
The plaintiff says the defendant is refusing to return the money she gave him for an apartment she was interested in renting, so she's taking him to court. Now, the defendant says the woman changed her mind on a whim, and he's not returning her money. Let's listen.
the association doesn't sign. They call us and they tell us, because the only thing they look at are whether there's a criminal record that will not allow.
Did the association ever see this application?
The association only requires that we send them, that we're approving them. What they do then is they look at it real quickly, and if on the credit check that we send them, which you see there, we did on the 22nd, there's no criminal background per the declaration condominiums, they're automatically approved. That's right in the deck.
Listen to my
process.
question, because I think you know exactly what I'm asking. Okay? This is a very factually specific case. First of all, as a realtor, I would hope that you know that the default position on a deposit in a normal case, unless someone says otherwise, is you lose your deposit. If you change your mind, you lose your deposit. I get it, and you get it. You just lose your deposit. But that can be modified by the parties. For example, if I give you a deposit and I say it is fully refundable until a certain date, well then, by golly, it is fully refundable until a certain date. Or if I give you a deposit and it says it only becomes non-refundable after you are approved, well then, by golly, it only becomes non-refundable after you are approved. Now, we have a debate in this case. I'm going to tell you the first debate. What does approved mean? I'm sorry, that was a rhetorical question. What does approved mean? Does it mean that the client is told, congratulations?
Your Honor.
No, can you not talk over me? Why do you think that'll help? That the client is told, congratulations, and confetti and balloons come down from the sky, and the client is told, you have been approved. Because if that's the case, you owe this lady her money, because that didn't happen until after she told you, I want out. Or does approved mean approved the way it's supposed to be by the board? Okay. I can't help but notice that you guys don't even send anything to her until she says to you, I'm out. And what you send to her is signed by people who are you and people who work with you. And then every time I ask you the following question, did the board approve her? Show me board approval. Your answer is, they rubber stamp. There's actually a place they sign, isn't there?
No, there is not, Your Honor. By the condominium documents for this particular complex requires us to go through certain criteria. We go through the criteria, we follow it, and that's why those signatures are on that first page. We follow their rules, and then once they approve, that is
What's this right here? What's this document that you gave to me that's blank?
that is sent on the 22nd. Whenever those documents are delivered with the lease after we do the approval. We have the way.
Who signs this?
This is what the applicant fills out.
No, it's a space for association manager for the reserve.
Right.
Who is the association manager?
Denise.
Okay, if denied or referred to association board, please explain. And then here it has the application has been approved, denied, referred to the board. This form, I didn't make it up. She didn't make it up.
Right.
So show me this form that's signed by the board, approved, denied by the board.
That's the management company. So the board is run by a management company. The new management company's rules requires only that we follow their rules. If there is 2 or 3 various criminal types of backgrounds, we have to deny
Mr.
them.
George, I'm not going to get lost. I need you to prove to me that the board approved her, because that's what approval means. It's not you and your employees signed something in a hustle when she bails so you can keep her $1,700. So you're going to need to prove to me the board approved. You can do it any way you like. You can do it to me. You could show me the signatures of the board on this document, which you don't have. You only gave me a blank one. You could show me, an affidavit by the board, because that's what approval means. It doesn't mean you guys approve her. It means approval. And you keep going back to the same thing. You keep telling me, oh, they just require. Don't tell me what they require. Show me that they approved her, because that's what the key is to whether or not you have to return her deposit. Prove to me the board approved her. And don't just talk around me again. Prove to me by any means necessary an email from the board, a signature of the board on this document, a signature of the board on this other document. Hold on. Oh, how about this document? Tenants and unit owners understand and acknowledge that any lease for any unit at the Reserve Condominium Association must receive the written approval of the board of the association. And there we go, no written approval by the board. So, show me something where there's written approval by the board. Yes or no, do you have it?
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. The plaintiff says that the defendant has stolen money from other people in the past and she is not going to become his latest victim. But the defendant says the plaintiff's deposit has been forfeited and her money stays with him. Let's go back into the courtroom.
Yes or no, do you have it?
The form that we signed is,
Do you have, this is the last time I'm asking.
No.
Then return the lady's deposit, $1,795, because that is the agreement you have with her. $1,795, verdict for the plaintiff.
So the defendant did not have the signed documents the judge asked for, and consequently he loses the case. Let's see what he has to say. George, what's your response, your reaction to the judge's decision?
I understand the judge's decision. She didn't want to take into account the internal policies put together by the board because I didn't have them in writing. But the policies of the board are, once we approve an application per their criteria, they're approved. And so since I didn't have that in writing, she didn't accept my argument.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, that's the way it goes in court. You had to have the proof. And it said she had the documents approved. The board had to have signed it.
Correct. The board in this situation never signs any of those. They haven't for years. It's all internal, and it's sent to them with our approval. As long as we follow the rules, they're approved. And then the board just accepts the lease.
Well, are you going to change the documents, or are you going to make sure the board signs these things in the future?
Right. Well, the board doesn't sign any of these in the future. It's a large complex, and that's all they'd be doing, and it's a bunch of older folks, so they put that onus on the property manager. We do it. We follow the rules. We've been doing it for years, and they've accepted it for years. But I understand
That's
the
really
judge's argument. I accept it.
Yeah, I mean, if you brought into court again over the same situation, you're going to lose. You know that, right?
Well, we've gone to court on this issue in our county, and we've won repeatedly because that's what's in the declaration documents. And I didn't have those with me today, and it says as long as we follow the rules and we approve them per the documents, they're approved. We don't have to have the signature, that was the original application. But I understood.
Right.
It's fine.
Okay. Well, you understand why the judge made the decision she
Sure,
did,
absolutely, and I accept her decision.
You
She's a very
gotta
nice
live with
judge.
it. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Good enough. All right. Let's see what the plaintiff has to say about this. I'm sure she's elated. She must be. Ms. Curran,
Hi.
what are you thinking right now?
I'm happy. I mean, I think it's, justice has been done.
I mean, good for you. Did you know this is what was going to happen when you come to court?
I felt pretty confident about it. And he has a pretty bad reputation in our
Really?
hometown. So I knew I wouldn't have gotten anywhere with the small claims court. So
Yeah.
I feel pretty blessed that this came about.
Well, good for you. You made the right decision to file a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah.
No
so
wonder. I'd be happy too if I were you.
I am. So thank you.
Okay, good enough.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thanks so much.
All right. You are welcome. Well, good for her, Harvey. What are you thinking?
Well, Doug, I want to go into why the plaintiff got this deposit back. There's a principle in law. It's called the law abhors forfeitures. And what that means is that if you give money to somebody and the deal ultimately doesn't go through, then the presumption should be you get the money back, unless the contract clearly says that this is non-refundable even if the deal doesn't go through. If it says that, then you're out of luck. But the presumption is that it shouldn't be a forfeiture if the deal doesn't happen.
If I organize an office pool for the lottery and I forget to put my own money in when I buy the tickets, do I still have a right to the winnings?
Do you have a right to the winnings just because, well, it was my idea, right? to have everybody throw the money in. No, I don't think you do. I think
so
you're
either.
out of luck, right?
What do you mean forget to put my money in? You know
an honest
exactly
mistake.
how much in lottery tickets you bought.
When you walked up to the counter with the cash and bought the tickets.
You own zero of it because you put none of it, unless the agreement was you'll organize it and for that you will get a share, which I don't think it was.
No, I doubt
based
it.
on that
I think
question.
You're out of luck, and it could be like $1 billion purse. You never know,
gosh.
right? By the way, on these lotteries, we all like to play them once in a while. Some people play them every week, every day. But the odds of you winning the big prize, the Powerball, whatever it is, that might be the huge, big number, about 1 in 292 million, usually, okay? Now, if you think
Why you have to rain on my parade?
if you think those are good odds, you have a 1 in 15,000 chance of getting hit by lightning during your lifetime, okay? So it's a long, long road to that $1 billion payout.